everyone. Welcome to the very first episode of It's Cool, I Know the Owner podcast. I'm Zach Schmidt with the Horton Group, and today my first guests ever are Charles Martinez and Andrew Zeiden of Grandma Annie's Pizzeria. So let's get into it.
Yeah.
We're gonna start it off with some
a little
product here, a little za.
This is why we're here, right?
Thank you.
It's all about showing this off right here. It's the pizza. This is the love. This is what we're trying to show the whole Humboldt Park and Chicagoland area.
A little bit of background on all of us. I've known these guys for 15 plus years. Charles and I went to college together. I've known Andrew for years as well.
Thank you.
We've all been in and out of the hospitality industry for years. And yeah, they just opened this business and I'm just starting this podcast. So I thought it was appropriate to, show their business a little bit of love and find out what's going on behind the scenes. We want to get to know the owners, so.
Let's go, bro. I'm ready, excited to get this thing going.
So I guess what I'm curious about is, I've known you guys actually separately. How did you guys get to know each other? What made you go into business? I guess, Andrew, let's start with you. Tell me a little bit about your past, what got you to this point.
So I feel like I've been in hospitality my whole adult life. Ever since high school, I knew this was kind of what I wanted to do. We went, from the beginning, we threw parties, we did events, from houses to barns to, there was a spot in Clarendon Hills, and it was called the Arabian Nights Farm. And so it was cheap. It was like $150 a record for the night. So at that point, I had a company that was Platinum Productions. I was like 15 years old. It was like zero gravity days. And so we used to rent this barn out.
The name matches here.
Yeah, for sure. And then we just kind of kept going, moving forward. And I got into promoting. I was in the city for a long time, probably before I should have been. And then by the time I was 21,
a little underage action?
Allegedly. They said I did it. The glove didn't fit. But, it is what it is at this point. And by the time I was 21, everybody thought I was 30. So, at this point, we didn't know what was going on. But from managing clubs to doing bottle service management at festivals, and then, I've been in nightlife probably the last 10 years solid. But there's nothing more. There's nothing better than it. There's nothing better than it.
Now that we got a food establishment, and this is coming a long way because the last time Andrew and I were doing stuff, it was shotgun beers, and we did some college parties.
So where did you guys start working together? Where did you officially meet and start working together as far as bars, promotions, events?
Well, we met before. We were friends before we actually started working together.
For sure.
And we just knew each other from the nightclubs.
At that point, I think
this is teen clubs. Actually.
Yeah.
We knew each other from the teen clubs, like Mission.
Yeah. And at that point, he was doing this DJ thing, and he was the hottest thing in Elgin.
So yeah, tell us a little bit about that. Bartlett Superstar. Barrington, Elgin.
Wait! Everybody, stop talking. It's pizza time.
All right, let's do it.
We got cheers to pizza, boys.
Cheers, boys.
Salud.
Grandma Annie's to success.
Little guy.
Salud.
Let's see how it is. This can also be a pizza review. Charles, you started DJing in high school.
I was selling CDs out of the back of my car at the 7-Eleven. Hustling. I think that's why Andrew and I get along so well, is we both have the same kind of past in a way. We've always made our own money, found angles that other people didn't see, and just got out there and got after it, right? So once we did start doing business together, we just kind of saw eye to eye, we could do something cool. The other thing is, by being in the game of making your own money, you fail in a lot of things, right? And so you learn a lot of what not to do. And now that, we're both in our 30s, and we've gone through years of, ups and downs. It's been a roller coaster, I think, for both of us, even though, because you'll kill it for 2 years and then
you're broke, and then it comes back, and then you're trying to figure out the next move.
Yep.
But when you reflect on that, and when you go into another venture, you bring all that experience with you. So even as we were discussing this, there was a bunch of situations where we were all right, but when I did, had XYZ place, or when I was working XYZ place, we did it this way, it didn't work, so we want to try it this way. And all that comes together and makes this, but I think that's what makes this work, and we're agile. We're not like set in stone that this has to be a certain way. And I think that's been a great way for us to expand the way that Andrew and I communicate, because in the beginning, we started butting heads once it started getting into like,
the nitty gritty.
Like black and white type decisions, right? Where it's like, we're going this way or this way.
Yeah, there has to be some give and take. You have to compromise.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, a business relationship is like a marriage, right? So it doesn't matter any way you look at it. I'm with him more than anybody else in my life. I talk to him more than anybody else in my life. He at this point, he is my partner.
Yeah. The highs and lows, you got to learn to deal with each other, work together, live together.
We went the first 6 months of trying to figure out our pizza recipe and our dough. We're going to kill each other. You know what I mean? But then it comes down to a point where we remember that we're both going for the same goal, right? So like I'm passionate one way, he's passionate another way, and then our passions will collide together because both of us don't want to be wrong, because this is all we've been living and thinking for the last 6 months. But then you take a step back and you're like, all right, bro, like some stuff you make sense, some stuff I make sense. Let's figure out what really makes sense, and instead of talking about it, let's try it.
Exactly.
And like that's kind of like our new thing is like, we're not going to argue about things that we don't know.
Yeah.
We're going to try them, and then we're going to make it work.
Be open to what works best.
You have to.
Yeah.
We have
what
to
the customer wants. What looks best, tastes best.
The big thing,
you have to be open to that.
And we balance each other very well, because it's like there's a lot of things I'm not good at, and like as a good business owner, you have to figure out what you're good at and what you're not good at. Like you have to, because everybody's not good at everything. So you need to bring on, it's like when you get married, again, you got to find somebody that they call it your partner, your better half. So he's my better half in business. We balance each other very well. I'm loud, obnoxious, I'm go. He's meticulous, he's calculated, and he's slow. So it's like between both of us.
Excuse me?
Slow at everything.
No, not. I'm sorry.
No, he takes his time. He's calculated.
He takes his time.
We get
he's
it.
Calculated. He just actually. Well, I'm going.
Yeah.
Like I'm thinking once I get there.
And I think you can apply that to almost anything, right? I mean, it comes down to I'm willing to compromise to see if you are right
And communicate.
But then on the flip side of it, you have to be open on the other end of the equation, where if you are wrong, right? And that's hard, because of this thing, like Andrew's saying, we're living here. Like we're putting insane amount of hours, and it's not even just the hours that we're here. It's like when I'm at home.
The brain doesn't stop.
Exactly.
I don't care where you're at.
Because we're still.
No, I know.
Although we're open, we're not. This is our first one, right? And the game plan isn't just one restaurant. We want to be able to take this thing and push it at scale, and that's where my programming, background really helps, because I work as a software developer during the day. So I have my career as well as business. Just like Andrew, he's got his hands in other things too, right? So, you got two guys that are doing 90 hours, 100 hours, but this is the thing that is really that we're passionate about. And that's why when, he feels one way and I maybe, I talk shit about it. I'm sorry if I don't beeping it out or whatever, but if I talk shit about it, it's not that I'm talking shit about him, but he feels like it's about him, and vice versa. Like he'll say something about something that I make, and he'll be like, this doesn't look right, blah, blah, blah. I take it personally, even though I shouldn't.
All right, so something I wanted to bring up, you started bringing it up, how you guys, myself, we've all been in different industries as well as hospitality. Andrew, you come from bars, clubs, promotions, events. Charles, you've done DJing. Now you're working with Cook County software development. You do all these apps and software stuff. Me, most of the last 12 years of my life have been in hospitality, managing bars, restaurant clubs, and now working for Horton, working in commercial insurance, taking a different path. But how have you guys taken those other walks of life and paths and applied it to this business you're starting? What has it taught you, and how are you applying it to Grandma Annie's?
I have taken every loss I've ever had, and I've thought about it all the way through. So like before I do anything here, I think about it 10 different ways. I think about it from my point of view. I think about it from our employees' point of view. I think about it from his point of view. I try to see the bigger picture of the things that are that we have to make real decisions on. And then once I figure out that I feel like this can work, then we try that way. So it's like that's kind of where I'm at.
So the biggest thing I learned from bars, restaurant clubs, hospitality is the smallest task, the smallest issue, problem in my life, I'm just constantly in solution mode.
100%.
So that's been the biggest.
In this industry, you have to be on the fly.
That's been the biggest thing. Like it can be something as trivial as a flat tire, or someone passed away in my life. Something small or something terrible has happened,
100%.
and I might sulk for a second, but I'm instantly in like, how am I going to fix this? How's it going to go going forward? And how's it going to affect the people around me? And you have to be constantly on your toes.
You know what? I swear, bro. I saw something on Instagram one time, probably years ago, and it said, you have two options. You can either, can you fix the issue, then why worry? Can you not fix the issue, then why worry? Either way, it's the same answer, right? So it's like, what is the point of stressing yourself out and getting to a point where your brain and everything is just ruined because you have your anxiety ridden? And like people that are out there, I feel so bad for them sometimes because it's like, dude, like I get it. I get the frustration, I get the anxiety, but like we have to use the power of the mindset and push ourselves through. Like every day could be a bad day if you want it to be.
Right.
Pressure's a privilege.
Yep.
Like the fact that you have pressure means that you're doing something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, we were talking about this earlier. Stay uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Well, you have to
do something new. Put the pressure on. Cause more problems in your life, and you'll grow.
100%.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Absolutely, dude. I feel like people just need to take small wins. People forget about the small wins. The little things, you hear it all the time, the little things matter. But people forget about the little things.
And how you frame stuff. Like even
100%.
Even mentally, like the way you talk to yourself. That's
manifestation is real. Yeah. You know, if you say you're going to be miserable every single day, you're going to be miserable every single day. But if you wake up and say, I'm going to say hi to 10 people a day, somebody's going to smile at you. It's like the little things. Again, it's the little things in life, like the person that holds the door open, the lady that didn't have 25 cents for her food, so you give it to her. You know, it's the little things, bro. That we have to, as a community, people need to be kind to each other, man. And I feel like we just need to get that back.
Yeah, I mean. And as you guys were opening this place, before it was painted, before you were doing any branding or advertising, didn't you say people were like popping their heads in, like, what is this? What is this going to be? Oh, it's pizza. We need this here. We're excited. We want this.
Bro, we were living here at that point. Like, I mean, every single day, working on the recipes, getting this place cleaned up.
I mean, the first thing we did was we put the oven in.
Yeah.
And then we built everything around the oven. Right? Yeah. And the reason why is because Andrew and I, although Andrew has a pizza background, I had zero experience in pizza. And we didn't want to just go and use somebody else's recipe.
Yeah.
So, I think I showed you the pictures of the first pizzas that came out. They were embarrassing, bro. They looked like they were like it was
not totally sellable.
It's not delivery and it's not even DiGiorno. That's what it was. Like it was.
Like the Jack's, pizza.
Jack's is fire.
No.
Jack's
is fire. But like the one that's like $4 underneath it, that's like $2 a pizza. We started there.
Yeah, it was bad. It was really bad. But again, it was just
learning process,
trial and error.
I mean, you said you were working on dough for like 4 months plus, from 6 months from scratch. Now you're the dough man.
Yeah, but So but as that was being done, there was a lot of battles around the oven as well as battles around the room in this entire place.
This thing was so heavy, bro.
Like every single one of these corners of the building, every single tile, there was like a long discussion. Because again, we're so vested in this. This is like, this place is a piece of
nothing was easy.
Yeah, it's a part of us.
I was going to ask you guys why the pink, but I mean, to me, it's fairly obvious. The branding, just for me, knowing you guys coming in and out of this place, doing the insurance for this place. Not only are you guys my first episode, they were my first client with the Horton Group.
We had to give my guy a chance. He's pretty solid.
Much love. So
saved us a lot of money from our competitors. Don't edit that.
That's actually for real.
That is.
Yeah, and Zach has actually helped out on some other family stuff that he saved my family a lot of money on some stuff. So I had a lot of faith in Zach, and now I have huge faith in Zach.
What's funny? What's really funny? So on Halloween we had a customer come in, and so I'm talking to him. He's a really nice guy, and he's like, "Oh, I live right there." Blah 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 blah. He's like, "Yeah, I tell all my friends." He's like, "Make a left at the pink building." I'm like, "Now we're a landmark in Humboldt Park, so it's awesome." But no, in reality, my thing was we do a lot of things with festivals. Where we're at a bunch of festivals. I've been doing festivals for a long time. This will be our first year as Grandma Annie's added. That's going to be our brand. But all the big festivals in Chicagoland we do, and we needed a brand that matched that. We have old school feel, old school menu with a new school vibe. So it's like, I feel like people think modern food is like, when you think modern food, you think like small, you think, not flavorful, like simple dishes, So we want the old
minimalistic,
exactly.
decorative.
We want the old school pizza, big portions, big sandwiches, but we want the new school vibe of how the swag is.
I think that comes from our family vibe, though, because we both said the same stuff before, where it's like you never want to run out of food at a family party kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like everything that we serve, we want to make sure there's value in it. You're going to be full because people work.
There should always be leftovers.
Exactly.
People work hard for their money.
People work extremely hard for their money, and I feel like it's a scam if you charge a lot and don't actually provide a lot. And then on the other side of that, what the branding is. Andrew and I are huge on our families, right? Like family's everything, and family can be everything from your actual blood to your really close friends. But you take care of the people around.
Blood doesn't make you related. Loyalty does.
Exactly, and so the name is based on my grandmother who passed away, right? But like in our mural doesn't represent necessarily what she looked like, but we want to show people that this place should be.
Your grandma didn't look like a gangster Betty White?
No.
Hey, don't be talking about my grandma like that.
There's 3 words that describe what this business is, and you're the one that came up with it. What is it?
Good mood food.
Good mood food.
Good mood food. I mean, just think about this, right? Every time you eat, when you get your girl, right? You're at dinner with your girl. She's been yelling at you all day. She wants to get out to eat. She takes the first bite of her food. What's the first thing she's doing? She's doing like that little happy dance.
The food dance, the happy dance.
Food is supposed to bring people together.
Yeah.
Food is supposed to it's supposed to make you happy. When you're eating it, bro, especially when you go to a restaurant, right? You work, a lot of people work $15 an hour, right? You spend $30 on a pizza. You just paid 2 hours of your life to eat that pizza. You better like that food. You better like that food, and that's what it is. I want people to walk in, and I want them to do the happy dance. I want good mood food to be be our slogan, but I want you to feel it.
Turn that bad mood into a good mood.
Bro, you walk in here, I want all your issues to go away. I want you to think about eating your food. I want you to smile because you're in a happy area. I want you to look at the pink and it brightens you up. I want you to take a picture with the slice baby. I want you to just embrace what you have instead of thinking about all the negative
Instagrammable.
things. It's not even about Insta, even though social media is a huge outreach now. I mean, that's where all brands are built right now. So obviously we want to stay proactive in social media, and that's why we made an Instagrammable place. But a lot of it is more of we had a vision, and it's cool to see what we had on paper, and then we had in renderings, and then we had in real life, and it's like the process of getting here is the coolest part. And you can't have any type of business without people. People are the most important in your business. So that's another thing that's very difficult is learning your people. Because if you don't learn your people, you're never going to have a successful business. Everybody has to get disciplined differently. You can't talk to this guy how you talk to this guy. It just doesn't work.
I mean, and that's what's huge about hospitality. If you're working in a bar, restaurant, club, whatever, a hotel, you're a specific type of person, but you're surrounded by all walks of life. Yeah. Different religion, ethnicity, income, status, stature, everything. Like you're learning how to react to someone who's super rich, maybe middle class, maybe black, white, Hispanic, whatever it may be. Right. You're learning how to react and treat these people. We're all on a common ground. Treat everyone the same. Treat everyone respectfully. It's hospitality. Be hospitable.
Well, you know what I feel? I feel like me and you both were in a very high volume, luxurious neighborhood for a long time before we moved on to the next steps of our life. And working at those places and being in that neighborhood, and then coming over to a whole nother side of the world, right? Things that mattered over there don't matter over here.
Yeah.
Things that we expected to be different because of how things were ran over there aren't. There's community here. There's families here. There's real neighborhood respect here. Like, who your neighbors are. I've been living in my building for 5 years. I couldn't tell you my neighbors' names. You know, that's the cool thing about it. Like,
Humboldt Park still has the old school vibe.
they had that.
Yeah.
Community is the coolest thing here.
Like even with some of our employees, like oh, my aunt's gonna come by. She's gonna walk over and have some pizza.
Yeah.
We ended up.
I mean, you guys are gonna have regulars so quickly.
Well,
where
it's not even that. So we hired a guy that works here. Great guy. His aunt lives right next door. We had no idea.
I bet she's gonna help you whenever you need it.
Bro, they're all gonna
Like-
help. That's the cool thing about it over here is that everybody is so kind.
It's
It's a great neighborhood.
Again, it fits our slogan perfectly. Good mood food. You come in here, it's not you love the food. We're gonna have a conversation. You're gonna have a good time, and it's gonna be consistent every time you come through, right?
Yeah.
There's no bullshit here. And I think the hard thing is gonna be being able to take that culture, because right now the culture's coming off of Andrew and myself's like vibe, and hopefully our employees see that and they also can act the same way we act, right? But now when we want to go to location 3, 4, 5, 6, the employees aren't going to be around us as much, right? At that point, because they're going to have to be a level out, and it's going to be. I think the next big battle isn't necessarily just getting another place open; it's figuring out how to duplicate that culture.
Yeah, me and him have been talking about doing business multiple times. We had another company before this called MidSource. We were pretty much reselling different products and stuff like that, and we just kept trying things. And we're like, you know what? Let's just go back to what we know, and that's taking care of people. I come from food, so it's like between both of us, we knew how to manage and how to work together and how to make not only a brand that is going to be likable by not just one genre of people, but a whole genre of people. And then on top of that, have something that like we can put our name on and be like, yo, we're proud of this.
I mean, and it's just a good concept for you guys. We've all come from crazy bars and clubs and high energy venues. And like now, yeah, we're getting a little bit older. We've seen crazy shit. Maybe we want to chill a little. And now you guys as owners of the business, you want to be in control of stuff, not other people booking your gigs, making your schedule, telling you what you're going to get paid, what you're going to do, what's on the menu, what are the drinks, learn this. You guys are in control now.
100%.
And,
I think the cool thing is watching your idea turn into a reality. Like
Yeah.
I said that, I keep saying
I saw this place when it was like dust and dirt and no paint and,
Still Chinese menu on the wall.
yeah.
When we first came
but
up
it's like you said, you stayed in budget, you kept it simple, but it looks great. It looks clean. It looks modern, yet it's still simple. You did what you had to. I'm in my 30s too. I'm thinking future, career, and I knew somebody who was in insurance, a guy that I've known for years. I actually met him at a bar. We get back to contacts and networking. I've known him for 6 years, and he's been talking to me about insurance forever, and it's like, oh no, I'm 26 years old. I have so much more to do in hospitality, insurance, no chance. Like, I'm good where I'm at. And then the years went by. I was like, it's making more and more sense. Maybe I'm getting a little burnt out, the hours, the flexibility, the balance of life, and just, the balance, the money you could make, the career path.
Yeah, we don't have a balance.
And I'm just starting to learn what that is, but because of things like this, I'm never going to get away from hospitality. I'm always going to have life lessons. I'm always going to be connected and going out and talking to people. That's why I love that I do insurance for bars, restaurant clubs, hotels, all that stuff. Right. So I'll never be disconnected, and shit, I'm sure I'll invest and own in bars and restaurants. Maybe I'll work in them again one day. Like, you can't get out of it.
It's hard.
It's in you.
Bro, it's in you. The hospitality industry is one of the most hardworking industries in the world. Because in nightlife, think about how many issues you deal with in one night. Alcohol makes everybody change.
Yeah.
You have the nicest person in the world walk in, and you'll have the Grinch walk out. So, like, you're dealing with every single mindset, every single type of personality, every single issue. The things that you can tell about issues that you ran into being in nightlife, just managing bars, the stories you could just tell from that alone. Bro, you have to learn how to deal with everything, and I feel like it's the best industry.
Yeah, it's not like any other work environment, especially when alcohol is involved, like you're saying. Because you could have someone who walks in perfectly happy, they get blackout drunk and leave pissed, fighting, going crazy on the staff, or maybe they walk in pissed. They're having a terrible night. Sometimes. Walmart gets wild.
Shout out to Walmart. The people of Walmart watching is the best.
They deal with a lot too. But no, somebody could walk in pissed. I'm having a terrible day. This went wrong. Bad day at work. They go in, they have the night of their life. They walk out. Thanks for having me. This was great. The alcohol. You gave them a memory. You gave them an experience. So it could go either way. And that's why you're constantly working on the fly, the different types of people and the state of mind they're in. Because, they're drinking, they're doing other things, they're doing all kinds of things.
Listen, brother,
we can't watch 1,000 people at every moment on multiple floors and rooms, and
it's not going to happen. Everybody unwinds differently. Everybody deals with stress differently.
It's the definition of customer service.
Period.
Because I can be an accountant, I can be in insurance, I can work at a bank, whatever. I could be an Uber driver. You're not dealing with Uber drivers are dealing with hammered people all the time. But my point is,
Uber drivers are dealing with everybody. Shout out to Uber drivers. You guys run this world.
But yeah, you're dealing with a whole different mindset of person. They're so unpredictable, and you have to be as unpredictable as them.
Problems become your problems. Going back to not being able to please everybody, at the end of the day, you have to identify what your core tenets are, and based on that, as long as you deliver that every time, like you say, this is what we are. If you deliver it every time, then those 10% of people that aren't happy with the product or whatever it is. You don't have to feel bad about it because you don't know what that person went through, that day. However, if it's something that it's no longer fitting what our tenets are or what our standards are, well, now we have to figure it out, and that is our, that's our issue.
Right.
And sometimes you got to figure out which side of the fence that problem's laying on, right? We have to figure out, is this someone that's, not necessarily even who our core customer is going to be, or they're having a bad day? Did we deliver what we say we were going to deliver, or was it that we actually dropped the ball? And that's probably one of the biggest issues in managing, right? And then you have to decide, because there's certain cultures where it's the customer's always right. And there's other cultures where it's I'm going to have my employees back no matter what.
Well, so part of me personally, I wanted to get on the other side of things.
Yep.
So people think oh, you went from an exciting career to insurance. That's so boring. But it's really not, because, you can try to prevent things from happening from within the club, but we obviously deal with stuff after it happens, claims, whatever. But I used to be the person calling the cops, calling the ambulances, putting out the fires, dealing with all that, and then damage control and all the PR the next day. So now, I kind of wanted to get on the other side of the risk. And yeah, you're dealing with it after the fact, but that's the whole point of getting insurance.
Right.
People think, I don't want to pay for this. Things are never going to happen, but shit always happens. Especially in bars and clubs. So that was it. That's what made it a smooth transition for me, because I've seen it all from the inside. I've seen people do stupid stuff, and now I know how to mitigate that risk and, how to protect these bars.
And also realizing there's nothing easy. Like you bought your property last year.
Yeah.
Every single thing you see on the internet is how buying property is the easiest thing in the world. It's passive income. All you're going to do is collect checks, and eventually you don't have to have a boss. Tell me if any of that is real after you bought it.
Yeah, and then I had to deal with a 10-month eviction.
Exactly. There's
my first tenant.
Not a single dollar in this world that you earn that is passive.
Yep.
Right? So it's, before you take a step forward into anything, you need to make sure that you will, right? Because if you don't, it's not going to be successful. Because the amount of work it takes to make something successful, especially when it's from the foundation up, it's you're literally torturing yourself. I mean, if you laid it out on paper and said, hey, you're going to work X amount of hours, and for your first year, not only are you going to not make money, you're going to lose money, right?
Yeah.
And then you look at the time.
Especially in a restaurant.
If someone came to you and proposed that to you as a job, you would laugh at them instantly. Like, you have to be insane to be an entrepreneur, right? And I don't know how many people told me, even in this venture,
don't do it.
Why are you using the R word for opening up a restaurant? Like, it's not just because other people couldn't do it doesn't mean that we can't do it.
Right.
Right. And but at the same time too, going into it, you can't be naive. You have to understand that this is you have to love the game, for one, and then for two, you have to realize that you are going to have to make sacrifices in your life in order to make this thing work, because you can't have the Instagram glamour and that people portray, that this is such a beautiful lifestyle, like you're saying, and also be successful and be the person that's building this thing out. It just doesn't exist. You can't have it all.
All right. Well, you heard it from Andrew and Charles at Grandma Annie's. I'm Zach Schmidt, host of It's Cool, I Know the Owner. Now you guys actually do know the owners. Thanks for listening. Until next time, good day.